Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Nitro Racing League here on the channel. Today we start the playoffs for the final season of Nitro on NASCAR Heat 5 before moving to NASCAR 21. We come in as one of the top seeds, 13 points above the cut line. Race 1 is at Bristol Motor Speedway where we qualified in the third position, so things were already looking pretty good and favorable for us here today in this episode. You notice the title, basically the long story short, I actually had my second COVID shot a few days ago, and the day after we had the Nitro race, and let me tell you, it was a miserable day for me. It was terrible. I went into this race feeling terrible. I just wanted to get it over with, and it turned out to be one of my best performances ever in the Nitro Racing League. So that's what the title is all about now. As you guys know, that is alluding to Michael Jordan's game where he played with the flu long time ago now, as we were trying to put the pressure here on the back of the 95 of Connor now, as I made a mistake right there, but we had already gotten our first caution of the day on lap 6. So what's going on here in the race, by the way, is we are doing 250 laps. Stage 1 is 60 laps. Stage 2 is 60 laps. Now, as you see me move up to the outside for the choose cone, Jonathan stayed out on the pit line, so that's why he was now leading, but we got back going right behind him here, moved up to second right off the bat. But maybe if you're potentially new to the Nitro Racing League here on YouTube now, the only people that get stage points are the top 5 now, as we got forced into the wall by the 95 there. I kind of tried to force the issue myself and put it to the outside of him, so it was kind of on both of us in my opinion, but we would settle out here in P3. So early in the race was probably the most chaotic now, as we were trying to look to the outside of Connor on the exit of turns 4. He's been feeding us at Joe Gibbs Racing setups all season long, but now we're in the playoffs. He said, I'm not giving any of you guys setups anymore, but Matt helped me out a lot with the setup for this weekend now, as there was another crash behind us on lap 21. So caution came out here and we were running in P2, so I was pretty confident with the car. We once again pitted, chose the outside here for the choose cone rule, and got back going here on lap 25, just shy of halfway in stage 1. But on the bright side for us here is we do not have to come into the pit lane here in stage 1 unless another caution comes out, because we can make it to the end here of the stage. My goal in this race is, I was feeling so bad at this point in the race, I said I'm just here to try and beat a few of the playoff drivers and drive around. I wasn't forcing anything on Jonathan at this point. We cut straight through to lap 45, coming to 46. Nothing had changed. We were still second with Andrew behind us and right behind Jonathan. That was the same story right to the final lap of stage 1. Absolutely nothing happened that was noteworthy here, so we were just riding behind him. I did make a move to the inside right here, and that was simply just to cover off the inside from Andrew Wisdom making a move. But then Jonathan makes a mistake here out of turns 4, and that opens the door for myself to go up the inside side by side to the line, some contact. But Jonathan wins stage 1. We get second place, so we get 4 points. Andrew gets P3 and 3 points. So that was a really good first stage for us now, considering the situation. So we got underway for the start of the second stage, which comes to an end when we hit lap 121, completing lap 120. There was some contact right there between myself and Matt. Last time we came to Bristol in the playoffs last season, Matt was in the way and he was unbelievably off the pace. This time, he was actually competitive. He had some really good speed, and you're going to see that throughout this episode. But already to lap 77, once again, not a whole lot going on here. But now I was like, you know what? I have the speed clearly to get past Jonathan. So on lap 80, I didn't get into him on purpose right there, but I did hit him through 1 and 2. And then through turns 3 and 4, I accidentally hit him again and put him in the outside wall, and then door check him on the exit of turns 4. I was definitely not nailing everything the way I usually do here. I was making some mistakes here and there, but that's just because I was feeling so rough in this race, and I was making a lot of uncharacteristic mistakes right there. But finally, I would settle down there. I got into the wall again on lap 85, but once we got past Jonathan, we were gone. We checked right out here from the pack, and it was him, Andrew battling, as well as the 19 and Matt O'Brien, who was right up there in the mix trying to get through to second. He briefly did get up into second, but his car got really loose towards the end of the stage, so he actually started drifting backwards now towards the end of stage 2 here within the final 20 laps or so. So things were looking really good for myself. I was just hoping it was going to stay green at this point now, and sure enough, it would. We come through to lap 117, just 4 laps to go on the stage. We were about a straightaway or so ahead of second place, which was still held by Jonathan here in the closing laps of stage 2. Straight to the now ending of stage 2, we win the stage pick up another playoff point, which could help us in further rounds of the playoffs, hopefully. Now, as if we can win today, though, we won't have to worry for the next 2 weeks at least. So we, of course, come into the pit lane, took 4 tires, 2 cans of fuel, got back going. No adjustments were needed at this point in the race now. And I actually messed up the start right there, and then Matt gets into the side of me there on the inside. So he is going to go through and take the lead here in the opening lap of this third and final stage. Right behind us, we got Matt in the 14 of Mahu battling with Andrew Wisdom now, as well as Jonathan in the 20. So I settled in right here to second place, just tried to calm down, get into a groove. Now I didn't really feel like I was in a mood to really battle with anybody in this race, so I was just trying to play it cautious here. I was just riding behind Matt for a good chunk of this opening portion of stage 3 now. On lap 134, you can see I was getting a little bit loose out of turn 2 now to 144. Matt had actually opened up gap between himself and I. He was a lot better on the short run than I was, and I was a lot better on the long run than he was so far in this race. So I was hoping, of course, it was going to go green to the end of this race. And now to lap 151, 100 laps to go here in the Nitro Racing League playoff opener from Bristol Motor Speedway, and we had once again closed up the gap to Matt O'Brien here through turns 3 and 4. And now we were just getting closer and closer here every single lap. Now on lap 155, within a couple of car lengths here of that 19 car. So I was just hoping that maybe he was going to make a mistake or something now, as both of us, myself and Matt, were a straightaway ahead of third on back. And it was like third through ninth was just all in a big group together battling it out. But now on lap 171, same story, just running behind Matt, hoping maybe he's going to make a mistake. We had stretched out the gap even more. It was like 5 seconds, I think, or so that we were ahead at this point. Now, as you see, Matt makes a bit of a mistake right there out of turns 4. That opens the door for myself to come into the mix a little bit. And then out of turns 2, he almost gets up on the outside wall. He was starting to just get more free and free with that car, and you're seeing that was allowing myself to just put the pressure onto him now, as we had a 5.5 second lead on third place. And then out of turns 2, Matt gets sideways. I pounce to the outside here, down into turns 3, and unfortunately right here out of turns 4, it's not going to quite work out because I get sideways, hit Matt, hit the wall, and then we lose a little bit of time right there, but we immediately fight right back to him. Out of turns 2 on lap 178, he gets sideways again, this time though down into turns 3 and 4. We have the momentum. We're going to be able to clear Matt for the lead and try to check out here before the pit cycle gets underway. So unfortunately, just after I completed this pass, my car started going away too, so I wasn't able to pull away as much of a gap as I thought I was going to be able to, but we still had a decent gap over Matt. So now on lap 193, we're getting closer and closer to some pit stops. Now Jonathan in third was actually closing in on both of us very late in this run, but he didn't have enough time to actually get to us. So now on lap 202, just below 50 laps to go here in Bristol, getting ready to make my pit stop. Now I was hoping I could actually catch Matt off guard, but he was just far enough behind to where he could react to whatever I did here with the pit cycle. So on lap 205, I decided to come in. I play it very safe, knowing my history of speeding. I didn't want to blow this win away. So Matt was able to gain a ton of time. Obviously, 4-tire pit stop. We had a better pit stop than Matt did. He was right on my back bumper in the pit lane. He had like a close to 16-second pit stop, I think it was, and we had a 15.3, and you can see the difference it makes. So now it was just all about, please let this race stay green, at least until the pit cycle goes through, and thankfully it did. We got back to the lead. Matt Chaffee let me go. He went a lap down. He was having a rough night, and we were actually on the short run pulling away from Matt O'Brien. He's been faster on the short run tonight than us, but we were pulling away from him here. So my confidence was very high, through the roof at this point. Now with 25 laps to go, just hoping that the green flag is going to stay out here now, as we were over 3 seconds ahead of Matt, and then over 7 seconds ahead of third place, which I believe was still Jonathan in the 20 car. So just trying to hang on to the end of this race, and I was just driving the race of my Nitro career so far. Now 10 laps to go here in Bristol. I felt like me feeling so rough made me drive faster, just because I wanted to get this race over with and go back to bed. So and it was showing here, because now as we were closing in on the 9 of Andrew Wisdom, the caution's not coming out so far. So we come through, approaching the final 3 laps of this race. We get to the back of the 9 of Andrew within about 3 car lengths or so, and I decided to just kind of chill behind him here. I didn't want to get into a battle of trying to put him a lap down and potentially put myself in danger, because now we had a whole straightaway on Matt O'Brien in in second place. So there was really no reason whatsoever to try and fight the 9 car here of Andrew. So I just kind of chill behind him through turns 1 and 2. I see a couple cars close together on the track map, but fortunately nothing comes out of it. Now as we come through 3 and 4, approaching the final lap, I was just like, please get through these few extra feet, and sure enough we do. White flag in the air here for the first opening race of the playoffs in the Nitro Racing League. Out of turns 2, down this back straightaway for the final time, and for the 4th time this season we are going to come through to win in the Nitro Racing League. This one felt really good because we won it on just raw pace in the car. I didn't have to bump anyone out of the way, move them out of the way. We didn't luck into it. We've lucked into one win this season by just being in the right place at the right time when the 2 leaders got together, and then the other 2 I had moved Eddie for a win in Richmond, and then I had moved Jonathan for a win as well. I don't even remember the track anymore. So it was nice to just downright just beat everybody here in Bristol. That was the first time this season we've done that. So it felt really good to pick up the victory as everybody goes crashing around us now as we get ready to do the burnout. So overall, a great start, of course, to the playoffs. We won Stage 2, we were second in Stage 1, we won the race, and we're locked into the round of 8. And I am going to show you guys the updated playoff grid after this Bristol race. So we came in, I think we were 13 points above the cut line coming in. Now we're locked in, and we're about 32 points is what it actually is above the cut line. But there you see Andrew's in by 20. Matt O'Brien with a really good race is now 15 points above the cut line. Mahu, who's also named Matt, is 16 points above. Connor is 8. Bryce is 2, as so is Cameron there, Sun City in 8th place. And then you got Libert, Matt Chaffee, Christian, and Durham are all on the outside looking in. And both Christian and Durham weren't in this race, so you can see the impact it had on them. But if you guys enjoyed it, you know what to do. I'd like to say thank you to the Go On Racing members of MJ, Joseph 9001, Timothy Arline, Bubba Jr., Brett Durward, Dark Gengar Gaming, AG Vasura, Russell Dixon, Kenneth Barnett, Dana9302, Speed Demon 341, Illinois Diecast. You guys help me out so much, and I really do appreciate you guys' support, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.